Hey everyone, Jason here, Legislative Chair for the chapter. I'm here at Firing Line in Burbank, and with me today is CRPA Endorsed candidate Carolyn Daniels for Assembly District 44. Just want to really quickly ask her a few questions and get her perspective on gun rights and the Second Amendment here in California. So first things first, for people who might not know who you are, give us a brief introduction.
Well, my name is Carolyn Daniels, and I live right down the street, and I have 3 beautiful kids who are teenagers, and we're living life large. My husband's in the stunt industry. I'm a full-time mom, and also do a little stunts on the side, and I decided that it was time to run because we cannot stay in California and retire. We cannot buy a home for our kids here eventually. We are having a hard time with our utility bills, and every night we look at it and say, what's next? And I've always taught my kids and others to be civic-minded. And I think that it's time to step up. And I had the opportunity, I had the blessing of my husband and my family and my kids. And they said, Mom, go for it. Let's save California.
Wonderful. And with that civic mindset, there, of course, has to have an understanding of the Second Amendment in our Constitution. So one thing that I'm sure a lot of people out there really want to know, when you are elected to the Assembly, what is one thing that you would like to see changed in California state law pertaining to guns, pertaining to our right to keep and bear arms? What would you like to see changed first?
I think first I'd like it to be a lot easier to have concealed carry. I think for me, if you've gone through the courses and you've done the registration, there should be a quicker turnaround because we're already in a national database. We already have that established, so there should be no harm in speeding up for the concealed carry. And for me as a woman and with daughters, I think that's really important as we're seeing the danger in our streets. And, I think it's important to be able to express that. And so I think concealed carry would be the first step.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure a lot of you guys at home already know about CRPA's lawsuit against LA County Sheriff's Department and their egregious handling of the CCW situation there. So with CCWs making it easier for people to actually get those, as far as legislation then goes, how would you like to fix that? Like, what would you then, at the stroke of your pen, you get a bill, you get a number for yourself, what would be the first thing in that process to target?
Well, as you know, with legislation, it's not that easy. So, you need to be realistic. Yes. But we could definitely look at some legislation that would help roll back that and cut back. I mean, here's the thing. Whatever government takes, it's very hard to get it back once they've taken those rights away. So I think it's really important to strengthen what we already have and establish that and work with you all to strengthen that. And I'm looking forward to working with you all in what we could do to come together that would appeal to all Californians.
Absolutely. And I know one thing that is definitely something that a lot of Californians really hate, the handgun roster, the assault weapons ban, the 11% excise tax. There's so many things that are happening in California when it comes to gun rights. When you look at all of these particular laws, when you look at how they've negatively impacted regular people, what do we do for when we eventually claw our rights back? Because there's always hope. Never black pill, as they say, right?
Absolutely.
What do we say to those people that they think it's hopeless, or they think, what's the point? Why should I vote for any kind of candidate when we have this Democrat supermajority? Like, what do we do when we eventually claw our rights back?
I think that anyone that has hope, and we should all have hope. I mean, California is a beautiful state. We have such amazing beauty that people do want to come here, even though they're fleeing because of taxes and because of laws and legislations and policies. People still thrive and want to be in California because of the abundance of what we have within nature, the weather, you name it, and the people. And I do believe that with certain gun laws, we are winning on certain areas to bring back and establish those rights that we should have per our Constitution. And I think that's where I'm always of hope, right? You want to be of hope. And if we all left, this would be a very sad state. But I'm here fighting, you're here fighting, and then I think we're fighting together for the right reason. And I think it's really important for Californians to know, bad guys, criminals, they're always going to get these guns. California has the most strident laws and restrictions, and so I just don't think that people really understand. And I think it goes back what we were talking about earlier with civics and also with our teens and our kids. And I think that when you have a healthy respect of guns and you understand guns, then you're not fearful of them. And I think that's really important. So maybe one of the legislators, the legislators that I see in the big picture in my dreams would be, let's bring back like shop classes. Let's bring back a civics class where our local sheriffs come into the school and educate kids about guns so there's not a fear. Let's take away the mystery and the mystere so it's not scary, but also the reality that this is not a video game. This is real life. You respect a gun and you honor it with what it can do and the harm it can cause and the good it can protect. So I think that we need to, as I look at my children and the children that are coming up in California, let's educate them healthy.
Yes, education is very important, especially with a topic like this.
Refraining back to the pistol roster, not only is it an issue about firearm accessibility to people in the state, I've been noticing it's an issue of firearm accessibility for people with disabilities. Working at a firearms establishment, I've seen people have difficulty with on-roster firearms, being able to properly manipulate them. And I'd be on the happier side to see those go so people can properly and safely handle their firearms, because pistols that are on the roster, whether they have a loaded chamber indicator or magazine disconnect, don't really conform to others with disabilities, arthritis, or any other fatigue that they've had in their hands. That's my main concern. When it comes to the youth, would you by any chance consider a dedicated, like bringing back rifle teams in schools?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of firearms educations that even here in Burbank High School had a rifle team. They had teams. There is still common shooting scholarships available for people of the youth that aren't really accessible to people in California because the firearms industry has kind of a black shroud around it that people aren't educating themselves on. So just trying to expand on what he said, are you going to try and, number one, get the pistol roster eradicated so people with those disabilities can get their firearms, and also expanding firearms education so people can get into these scholarships as well as the industry?
I need to look into more of the pistol registry, and I do want to work with people that are handicapped or have arthritis or have a disability. As far as the kids in the rifle, I mean, Burbank High School had, like you said, 22 teams, and the scholarships available on a national level, international level. I mean, it's a powerful tool that could be used for scholarship opportunity for our teens, also in an educational forum to, again, take away the fear and the insecurities that people maybe have when they're not comfortable with it because they don't know. And what you don't know, you fear. And so I think that that's a healthy response, because then it would show them proper command of a gun situation and how they can treat their guns, and especially if you partner with the local sheriffs to come in and help teach that, I think it would be a beautiful program for our teens, because I think it would, for the different drugs programs, the DARE programs, all the different things that we have going on, why not this also? Because this is what is happening. We see it all the time in the media and the news with kids playing around with guns and harming themselves. We also see the gangs that just flash them and they think it's cool. We see this in the video games. So I think that you take away that allure and show the impact of what the harm it can do, but also the good it is for our Second Amendment right. And I think it'd be great to get it back into the high schools.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That was our quick little interview here with Carolyn Daniels, candidate for Assembly District 44. Before we wrap up, what is your final message to the voters in Assembly District 44?
I think this is a really impactful year. We're seeing a lot of momentum, and I do believe that we have a chance to fix California. So let's get in there and say enough and vote. And I think the most important thing, like tonight, I met some people and they're like, I don't know, am I registered? I'm like, well, let's see if you're registered. So get out there, find your ballots, track them, vote, mail it in right away, and let's make this happen, California, so that we can have the dream to stay here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn,
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us today at our range night.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for watching our quick interview here. And if you want to stay up to date with everything that the San Fernando Valley chapter is up to, make sure you follow it right here on Instagram and check out our YouTube channel as well. Thank you again, and may God bless America.